Dear students, in this class we will learn how to write a MATLAB code to find the circular convolution of two sequences using DFT and IDFT method. The convolution of two periodic sequences with a period n is called a circular convolution. The circular convolution of two data sequences x1 of n and x2 of n is denoted by y of n is equal to summation k is equal to 0 to n minus 1 x1 of k x2 of n minus k mod n. This x2 of n minus k mod n is the reflected and circularly translated version of x2 of n. The circular convolution uses the mathematical operation to calculate the system output by considering that the support of the signal is periodic. There are various methods to calculate the circular convolution of two data sequences: the concentric method, a table method, the DFT and IDFT method. The DFT and IDFT method is also called as Stockham's method. The circular convolution is the unique property of DFT. The convolution in time domain is equivalent to multiplication in frequency domain. Consider a two data sequence x1 of n and x2 of n. Apply DFT of x1 of n and x2 of n. We will get the output of x1 of k and x2 of k. Y of k is nothing but x1 of k multiplied with x2 of k. For this multiplied output, we have to apply IDFT to get y of n and consider the length of y of n as maximum of the length of x1 of n and the length of x2 of n. To compute a circular convolution using MATLAB, we have to follow the following steps. First, we have to get the input from the user. Say the input here is x1 and x2 of n. Then we have to calculate what is the length of x1 of n, the length of x2 of n. Then we have to find the length of y of n is equal to the maximum of lx1, lx2. The next step, we have to find the DFT of x1 of n and x2 of n. Then we have to multiply these two outputs to get y of k. For that y of k, we have to apply IDFT to get y of n. The MATLAB function used in the particular program is input, length, maximum, FFT, FFT, IFFT, display, stem, X label, Y label, and title. The operator used in the code, colon, comma, then array multiplication. Then we will see how to do this calculation using DFT and IDFT. Consider a two data sequence, x1 of n and x2 of n. We have to calculate the length of x1 and x2. Here the length is 4. Then we have to find the length of y of n, the maximum of 4, 4. Using a matrix method, we are going to compute the DFT of x1 of n and the DFT of x2 of n. First, we have to write the Twiddle matrix followed by the data sample. Here the data sample is 1, 2, 2, 1. Then take the first row, multiply with the column. Take the second row, multiply with the column. We will get the output of x1 of k. The same procedure we have to follow for x2 of k by taking the first row, multiply with the first column. We will get the output of x1 of k and x2 of k. In the next step, we have to multiply these two output to get y of k. Take each element we are going to multiply. The multiplied output, for the multiplied output, we have to apply IDFT. So for that, we have to use the formula of IDFT using a matrix method. In the formula, here we have 1 by n, and here n is nothing but the length of a circular convolution. Here the length is 4. Write the Twiddle matrix for this IDFT and followed by y of k. Take the rows and multiply with the column. This is the output of the two data sequence. So which is nothing but circular convolution. We will see how to execute this program using a MATLAB. So when we are writing the program, we have to go with CLC, the clear all and close all. So before writing any program, we have to start with CLC, clear all and close all. Clear the command window, clear all the variable and close all the figures and the existing file. In the next step, we have to get the input from the user by using the keyword input. Input of, enter the first sequence. Input, enter the second sequence. Here the variable is x and h. In the next step, we have to calculate what is the length of x and length of h, say here lx and lh. Next, for the various value of n, we are going to plot this x. The various value of m, you are going to plot this h. For that, we have to find the value of n and m. By using the colon operator, we can assign the value for this n starting from n is equal to 0 to lx minus 1 and m is equal to 0 to lh minus 1. In the next step, we have to do plotting the signal. For plotting the signal, we have to go with a subplot, subdividing the plot. Totally here we have 6 plots, so we are splitting the rows and column into 2 rows and 3 columns and pointing the first plot. Then we have to use stem of n comma x. Assign the x label within the bracket within the quotes, y label within the bracket within the quotes, and title within the brackets within the quote. The same procedure we have to follow for another input. After plotting the signal, we have to find the length of y of n by taking the keyword max of lx comma lh. The next step, we have to compute the DFT of x, the DFT of h. For that, we have to use the keyword FFT. FFT is the fast Fourier transform used to compute DFT with less number of calculation. So we have to write FFT of x comma p, FFT of h comma p. Then these two output we have to multiply. Y is equal to x dot star h. The dot star is the array multiplication, which is nothing but element wise multiplication. Each element we have to take and multiply. Once everything is done, we have to find the IFFT of capital Y. And this small y is the output of circular convolution. For better visualization, here we have to go with plotting the signal by taking the subplot 233, 234, 235 and 236, pointing the third plot, the fourth plot, the fifth plot and the sixth plot. And totally here we have 2 rows and 3 columns. And followed by that we have to give stem of n comma x. For the various value of n, you are plotting the capital X. For various value of n, you are plotting the capital H. The similar way we have to do it for the various value of n, you are plotting small y. And followed by that, we have to give x label, y label, title. After that, we have to execute the program by pressing the run button. We have to pass the input. And here we have taken 2 input. One is 1, 2, 3, 4. Another input is 1, 2, 1, 2. In few instructions, there is no semicolon. Those statements will be directly displayed in the command window. If you want to hide some output from the command window, then at every statement, you can able to place the semicolon. The semicolon is used to hide the output from the command window. Now we will type the input 1, 2. When you're typing the input, we have to use the square bracket. So we have to go with the square bracket of 1, 2, 3, 4 and square bracket of 1, 2, 1, 2. And this is the output of circular convolution. And what are the variables we have used in the code? Everything will be displayed in the workspace. Then we are going to see the plot. This is the plot for the first sequence, the second signal, the DFT of the first signal, the DFT of a second signal, and multiplication of these two DFT output is here, and this is the output of circular convolution. By taking the index value here, n is equal to 0, n is equal to 1, n is equal to 2 and 3. Here the output is 16, 14, 16, 14. For the given input here 1, 2, 3, 4, another one is 1, 2, 1, 2. So these are the possible Viva questions. Thank you all.